Today you will learn how to create AI agents without using any kind of code. I will show you today the basics of N8N. This is just a short introduction to this platform. Down below in the description you are going to find another tutorial where you can see how to automate loads of processes and actually use this to create blogs in the form of Markdown. So after you watch this video, you could go ahead and check that to get another introduction to this and actually create something super useful. So this is N8N. This is a no-code platform that allows you to easily create AI agents. You need no coding experience, no technical experience. So the link for N8N will be down below. You could actually host this on your computer and it will be completely free, or you could pay a monthly subscription. You can also start with a 2 weeks complete free trial. You don't have to pay anything. So make sure to get started, check it out because this is so powerful. So the first thing that you are going to see is this overview tab that shows you all of your workflows. A workflow is essentially a process that does a specific action. So let's say that we want to create a new workflow. This is usually what you want to do. So you go to create workflow. And I would highly suggest that you use the online version. It's super cheap and saves you loads of time with loads of credentials and all of these things. So here is the UI. You have this add first step, and if you click it, you are going to find all of this information. I know, a little bit of a cognitive overload, but the first thing to add is a trigger. A trigger is what will actually make this workflow start. So you have like a manual trigger, which I highly suggest, especially if you're new to this, you don't want to let this thing be on schedule or be completely automated because you may do a mistake and that could potentially lead to loads of costs down the line if you use AI models or API services. You just want to get started with this manual trigger, you just do a click and it will run. So you waste 1 second of your time and you gain this kind of safety. So that's what I would suggest. You can put a schedule, so every day or whatever, a workflow will be triggered. So this is like polling. That's how it's called. You can submit a form and the workflow will run. You can have a webhook. So when you send a request to this specific webhook, the workflow will run. There's so many options like chat messages. We will cover them more in depth in the future. So for now, as a beginner, let's go with this manual trigger. So boom, we added this trigger, this node over here. And if you hover over this, you find loads of options. The execute workflow will run the whole workflow, or you can just click this small button that allows you to run only this node. So this is called the node. It does a specific action. It has a specific logic. So this node is connected to another node that we have not added. So let's say that we click here. We get a load of options. We can, for example, add AI agents over here, AI models, and that's what we will be probably doing. You could do like an action on an application. For example, you can see all of these supported applications by default. The integrations are really so many. So usually what I do is use some kind of Google Sheets to get data there, put them into AI and get a response. You will also see this in the tutorial attached in the description. But for now, I want to keep this super simple. You have also human in the loop. You can have other triggers. You could have flows where you merge information or split information. You can manipulate data. You can do so many things. But the goal of today's video is not to show you everything. It's to give you a short introduction, finally cut this initial overhead of getting started and playing with the platform. So let's say that we go with AI. All right. So when you click AI, you get loads of options again. You could have like an AI agent, which is generic, and that's what usually you want to use. You could have an OpenAI agent, which a lot of people use, but in some cases this costs a little bit more. Usually the OpenAI API is costly. You can have an LLM chain. You can extract information. You can use specific models that do summarization, that find the sentiment of some kind of data, or a text classifier which tells you if something is in a specific category. This is usual ML. So let's go with AI agent just for the sake of this very simple tutorial. So here we actually see the AI agent. Okay, new dashboards, new things. Oh my God, this is super scary. Well, it's really not that scary. Let me explain. On the left side, you've got the input data. These are the data that come from the previous nodes, and the information flows linearly. The previous nodes bring you all of the information to this node. So all of the previous input from the previous nodes comes into this node. And you can see it here, and I will show you exactly how you can preview the input before you run or set up or prompt this AI agent. So let's say that we want to actually change some things. So usually what you want to do is define below your own expression, all right? So usually that's what we do. We take specific information from the input, and that's what you want to use in most cases. So always, you will pretty much always use define below. You also have settings over here. For example, you want only once execution. You could retry on failure or do whatever things. I usually don't use these things, and usually I stay on the parameters page. You also can click here to open up the documentation. This is kind of helpful to understand the general concepts, but it's not that extensive, so I would avoid it, at least for now. You also have this kind of properties where you can set extra parameters, extra things that you would like to do with this model. So let's say that we have a very simple like AI agent, and we want to give it the user message. So let's say that the user message is, what is the weather metric in USA? A very simple example. This is what the user sends. You could also, for example, add a system message. For example, you say to the LLM what kind of assistant it is. You are a weather expert in the world, or whatever. These system messages allow the LLM to perform even better. So we give it a specific context of what its job is, and here is the request of the user. All right, so let's say that we do this thing. You can click Ctrl S to save the information, and you could also click here to execute the step. So if you press escape, you will go back to the central screen. So we can see here that the AI agent has some kind of problem. If you hover over this icon, it says no node connected to input chat model. Okay, so this is when a chat is received. Okay, so let's say that we trigger this. It comes exactly over here. You can click on a node, press delete, or click this icon to remove it. So when we click on this workflow to trigger it manually by clicking execute workflow, it will go to the AI agent, and the AI agent is going to ask, what is the weather metric in USA? At this point, if you click this button, you can open up this chat more. You will need that in most cases because usually the prompts are super big. And here you can define some kind of inputs by using this kind of brackets. But we're not going to go over that today. I want to give you a very short and quick tutorial to stop seeing you afraid to using these kind of things. So let's go back, escape. And what we have to do is actually select the chat model, the AI model we want to use. So if you click on this plus icon, you will find loads of integrations. This is pretty insane. What I would suggest for a beginner is to go with Google Gemini chat model. Why? Because they offer free API requests. So if you click that, you then have to connect your account. So I already have connected an account. What you want to do is create a new credential. It will pre-fill the host, and here you will have to place the API key. So where you can get a Google API key to use free models, you should go to googleaistudio.com or aistudio.google.com and click on the Get API Key. All right, so that's what you want to click, and you want to create an API key. This will give you the key, you place it here, click save, and you are good to go. Now, what you want to make sure is to select the appropriate model. So if you go on these front settings, you will see the currently available models, and you can see the actual rate limits and requests. So what is RPM, which is the rate limits? It's the requests per minute, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the flash preview, for example. You can select the model you want. I would highly suggest that you go with flash preview. This allows you 10 requests per minute and 500 requests per day. So that's what I usually do. I usually flash preview of 20th of May. This is a very fast, very smart model, and it's completely free for 10 requests per day, per minute, and 500 requests per day. So you want to go into N8N again. You see you have connected your Palm, and here you want to select 2.5 flash, and you will see here Gemini 2.5 5 flash preview 25th. So this is the model you want. Okay, you just match the names over here with the one you select. So 2.5 flash. Let's select this. Okay. You could also set like some parameters of how the model works. So for example, you can increase the number of tokens and all of these sort of things. But let's not mess with that right now. So you select the model, Control S to save, escape, and boom. You can see that Google Gemini model is right now connected to the AI agent. The AI agent can also have memory, so it can save the previous X amount of like chats. You could have a MongoDB or loads of other things that could allow the model to be even smarter or personalize the actual responses. So memory is super strong. Let's not mess with it right now. You could also have tools. So the AI agent can actually call external tools or user-defined tools or even other N8N workflows. For example, you may have a workflow that searches the internet and takes like an input from an AI agent and then checks the internet and brings back information to the AI agent. That's like a very simple example. Or maybe you have a tool that does an HTTP request, generates an image and brings it back to the AI agent to fill in the final response. There are so many opportunities, there are so many things to teach you about this, there are so many powerful things, but let's not mess with it again right now. This is a short, beginner-friendly introduction. So the idea is that when you click on this execute workflow, the AI agent is going to use the Gemini model that we got from Google AI Studio to ask what is the weather metric in USA. The model will know that it is a weather expert as defined by the system message. If you click also on this icon, you can completely understand what actually happens. So then the information could flow into, for example, another AI agent or whatever. You could save it in a file, do all sorts of things, save it in a Google Sheet or whatever you want. For example, you could save this into Markdown. So you could have like Markdown or HTML to Markdown or save into a file, I think. File? Is there a file here? FileMaker. I don't remember how I do it most of the times. I haven't used this for such a long time, to be honest. Yeah, so it's probably convert to file and you could convert to any kind of these things. So convert to text file, for example, okay? And you could also set the file name, the encoding, and all of these sort of things. There are so many things to do. So for example, let's say weather, let's call like the file name weather. So let's save this. There is a small mistake here that we have not defined the text input field. But let me show you how you can slowly test this workflow. First of all, click this small button to run only this node. Then the information is flowing from the input over to the AI agent. Let's execute this step and wait for the response from the AI model. So you can see here that you can check one node at a time to slowly test your workflow as you begin. Here we can see the output, the response from the AI agent, and we can see everything here. And then we can open up this file. And here, what you want to do, you could see like the AI agent brings a response that is called output. Now this schema is useful if you have a big understanding of what goes on. You could see it as a table, but the most useful format is this JSON file. So a JSON file has pairs. The pair is output and this is the response. So what you can do is go to schema, drag the output over to the text input field. So what this says is that I want this output to be saved into a file. So it takes the response that is over here from the output key. That's what it's called. The key is the output and the value of the key is this one. So we say that the text input field that we want to save into the file is this output. And we want to save it in a file that is called weather. So if I execute this step, we actually get a file that we can view by clicking view. And this is the response, congratulations, or download. And you can download it in your computer. So boom, we saved it and you can open this up like, okay, you also want to say like it's weather.txt so you can open it up easily. And boom, this is the response. As a weather expert, I can tell you that the United States primarily use the imperial system. So what is this? This is the usual like markdown output. So this essentially makes this word bold. So if I change the file system here to MD, it will change this file into a markdown. So in order to preview Markdown, you will need a specific editor or a specific Markdown reader. For example, I use like VS Code. So let's see the preview over here just to show you. And this is the report. Again, as I told you, this is like bold. Let me zoom in a little bit. Like, what the fuck is this? So zoomed out, oh my God. And you can see here the full breakdown of what is happening with the metrics. And boom, you created a very simple AI agent in just 10 minutes using N8N, and you only pay for like the hosting of the workflow and the machine especially that runs on the background. The AI agent from Google is also completely free to do, and after you test this out a couple of times manually, step by step, node by node, you can just click execute workflow and it will run from start to finish. So that's also nice, that's also good. In some cases, executing the whole workflow is like a little buggish, but you can see that it's run from start to finish and we get like a response, which we can again download and preview and do whatever sort of things. The responses usually are not exactly the same because these models are completely random, so they do a lot of changes. But yeah, this is pretty much the procedure to make a simple AI agent for the first time using N8N. Click the save and you're good to go. Now, if you go to overview, you can find like this workflow. I would highly suggest that you always name like the workflow, for example, weather AI agent explainer. You could set like this name. You could also add tags to find like easily the type of AI agents you have, and you're good to go. This is such a simple thing to do to create AI agents. Of course, it becomes a lot harder the more complex AI agents you do, but I think this is a good start and I wish you the very best. Now it's time to jump to the video down below in the description to continue learning about AI agents. If you also want to learn more about AI, I have an AI course. I will start adding N8N AI agent tutorials in there, but we have a lot of AI tools, how to use APIs from multiple tools, how to code with AI, how to become more productive and essentially make more money than ever using AI. So if you're completely new to this world, I highly suggest this course. You pay only once, you get all of the updates for the next year or so. It's also super cheap, hosted on Udemy, and already over 20 or 30 people have joined in just a single month. Thank you so much for watching. Press the subscribe button and I will see you on the next video.